Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are continuing to follow this breaking news as multiple Secret Service agents have been put on leave here in relation to former President Donald Trump's assassination attempt. At least 5 members of the Secret Service have been placed on administrative leave there. And we are continuing to learn more information here as this is developing just into our newsroom. And for that, we do want to bring in Bobby McDonald. He's a former Secret Service agent, and he's with the University of New Haven. Thank you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
All right, this is breaking news. As we were just saying here, these agents put on leave. Can you just break down for our viewers what we know right now? What are the new details in this?
Well, let me first say I think that it's long overdue. This is something that probably should have been done immediately after the incident. These agents were involved in the advanced preparation, and the agents as well on the former president's shift involved in a catastrophic incident that, quite frankly, could have been a lot more catastrophic than it was. So anytime law enforcement is involved in an incident like this, they should immediately be put on administrative leave, taken out of the operational aspect of their positions, get some counseling if needed, get some help if needed, get some rest, be able to develop their reports in a timely fashion with pertinent information that just happened recently and can be remembered quickly and recalled in their minds before stories change or different aspects are able to develop in the story and not be able to be put down on paper right away. So I think it's terrific that they've been put on administrative leave. If they are exonerated of any wrongdoing, terrific, no harm, no foul. But they certainly should have been taken out of the game a little bit quicker after this incident was happened on July 13th.
And again, we are learning these details as this unfolds. I guess I'd like to ask your initial reactions to this and your thoughts.
Well, I think it's allowing the investigation to move forward. Again, it would be great if we could get a little bit more information a little bit quicker so that the public can continue to digest, Congress can continue to digest, and the Secret Service can continue to digest to figure out, again, what happened here, how it happened, why it happened, and more importantly, how do we fix the problems that we had within the agency so that it certainly doesn't happen again as we move into the home stretch now after the 2 conventions and into the election season, which will be coming up in November.
I want to follow up on something you just said, when we will get new information. When do you think we will?
I hope there's no stonewalling going on. I hope the Secret Service has opened its books. I hope it is transparent, that it is cooperating with the investigation, that it is making available to the FBI and to Congress to be questioned about what happened here, how it happened, why things potentially happened. What are they doing to fix the communications issues that have been addressed here? How are we going to continue to get better and better and better in a no-fail mission that failed on July 13th? So again, I'm very hopeful that the Secret Service is doing all that it should be doing with opening its books up to make sure that everybody can see inside in a transparent fashion, and we can all find out exactly what happened here, and more importantly, why it happened.
As this continues to unfold, what should the focus be? What questions here are still unanswered?
I think the focus here needs to be making all assets available to all protectees of the Secret Service based upon intelligence situations at the time. I think we have to be prudent in how we protect our protectees. We have to make sure that we're giving them every possible intelligence analysis, and figuring out how to give them the 360-degree protection coverage that they need, the assets they need, the magnetometers, the sharpshooters, the drones, the armored limousines. All of those things play into the advanced process and are allowed to be available during a protective visit. The Secret Service, again, skinned its knee on July 13th. They cannot allow that to happen again, and they have to make sure that they are continuing to dot their I's, crossing their T's, and making sure, double-checking, triple-checking that their protective apparatus and protective platforms are airtight.
Going forward, we do have this election coming up here. What needs to be implemented, or what can we expect to see in the next few months here as this does continue to unfold, this investigation?
Well, I think the methodologies that the Secret Service uses are tried and true and work very well when implemented properly. In my opinion, I don't think they were implemented properly on July 13th. And I think that's where the train left the station on us, and we've been able to not get it back on its tracks once it went off. So I think if the methodologies are followed to a T, are tried and true and allowed to play out, the Secret Service is going to be able to have its protective mission and its no-fail policy move forward. I don't believe that they're going to make any major changes in things. I think they will tweak things a little bit. I think that the supervision process and the blessing off on security plans has changed a little bit since July 13th. And I think we'll see that continue to change to make sure nothing slips through the cracks as it did with this young man on top of that roof.
I guess what extent do we not know? Right? How much information in this investigation is being withheld from the American public? There's more to the story here, right?
I think we're missing some pieces of the puzzle, and I'm not sure that every bit of information should be disclosed to the public with respect to the methodologies and practices that are in place. But again, there is so much information already out there with witnesses seeing the young man on the roof, with cell phone videos, with things of that nature. I think that there are some pieces of the puzzle here that could be put out or given to Congress so that they can digest those and, again, figure out how to move forward with the agency, whether it's funding, whether it's personnel, whether it's more assets. It's not just all about money. It's not just all about people. It's about putting the whole platform together to make sure that it's working properly.
I know initially the hope here was to have a report out by the end of this year. Do you think that's possible at this time?
I would hope that they are working 24/7 to get that report out. That report needs to be out in a timely fashion. The Secret Service requires its agents in an investigative case to put out reports in a timely fashion. They should be making sure that they are getting that report out in a timely fashion. Granted, it may take a little bit of time, but when I heard during the testimony 60 days or whatever elongated period is going to be, that's just unacceptable.
Bobby, any more insight that you have here? Obviously, with your experience, you know, you have a bit more insight than a lot of us. Is there anything that you'd like to add to the conversation that you think I may have missed?
Well, I think we don't want to forget that the Secret Service lost one of the patrons at that event that day and had 2 people injured. I also want to remember that the men and women of the Secret Service since that day, through the 2 conventions and now into the campaign season, as well as with the UN General Assembly coming up in September in New York, is working very hard to do the very best they can. I think they're having a management issue and a leadership issue that they need to be addressing. They have a supervision issue that they need to be addressing. But I'm hoping that the men and women of the Secret Service will continue to do what they do very well day in and day out. Again, they didn't do it very well on July 13th, but will continue to work hard on the behalf of the American people to protect our nation's leaders the very best that they can.
And one more question for you here. When this report does come out, when we do get all this information on what exactly went wrong, what change do you think we could see come to the Secret Service?
Again, I don't think it's big changes. It may be a change in leadership. It may be a change in how supervision is conducted. The methodologies are there. They just have to be worked on and implemented properly so that the communication is good, that all of the bases are covered with respect to the, as I said, the 360-degree coverage of our protectee, and just do what they know how to do, but do it well and make sure that it's airtight. That's the key here. The protective platforms and advanced process needs to be airtight. It needs to be proactive on the front end so that we don't have to be reactive on the back end.
Bobby McDonald, thank you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox on such a short notice as this is developing and breaking. We appreciate you taking the time.
You're very welcome. Have a great weekend.
You too.